Hey, bad day, what's up? Um, yeah. Hey, new setup, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here investigating your favorite albums, and boy, it's time. It's about damn time for me, a person who listens to music, to talk about what is potentially, actually, definitely the worst album of the 2010s. Corey Feldman, Angelic to the Core, Angelic Funkadelic, Angelic Rockadelic. Yeah, that's the full name of this record. Before I get started, I just want to say that I had a terrible day yesterday. Um, my phone monitor had a purple spot again, and it was till then. Then I realized why, and it's because of this phone stand. Okay, so Corey Feldman is an actor. Was an actor when he was young, and he had decided to make music then. And he was never a famous musician, let alone a great musician, but it was this album that had brought him into fame because this album, it's a classic. It's a classic. I can't say this for Speedin' Bullet to Heaven or Miley Cyrus and her Dead Pets, but I can say this for this album. It's a classic. It is so bad, it is worthy of being labeled the classic. Now, this album is over 1.5 hours long and it has 22 tracks. What I kind of like about this album is that every single track sounds a little different from each other. But what is really constant about this album is Corey Feldman's growly vocals. It's like he's trying to do a Michael Jackson impersonation with a growly voice, and he's always doing this. What's also really consistent about this record is the lyrics. They are truly genius. The lyrics, they are on par with Kids Bop, if not worse. If not worse. In fact, the production is so bad and so messy. There are a lot of lyrics on this album that are just straight up unintelligible. And yeah, this album sounds like all the popular kinds of music from the 70s to the 90s, and then mixed and mashed into one big piece of 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 shit. So the album starts off with Ascension, Millennium, and it essentially starts off with this skit where somebody pretends to be God, and he's like, on day 22 there will be Corey Feldman, and then Corey Feldman hops onto the track with these constantly pumping synths, dun 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 dun, and Corey Feldman going da 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 da. That's literally the whole song. It's monotone. It's the same notes spammed over and over and over again for 4.5 minutes straight, or was it 5 minutes? I forgot. But immediately after this track, you think to yourself, yeah, you know what? It's just the first track. Maybe it's not going to be as bad for the rest of the album. Psych, you're wrong. The rest of the album is just as bad, if not worse. And also the music video. Fuck. I think Sean Astin is also in the video. What are you doing there? Anyway, the second track is Lovin' Lies. And again, it has an epic thunderstorm intro. The Lord says, "Thou shalt not lie." And then immediately after that, we get some super tame, corny, and cheesy, what it sounds like, dance pop, uh, party dance pop, and with the synths, um, the synths, they are the only thing that sound good on this track, and I am pretty much 100% sure that Corey Feldman probably ripped it off from LMFAO. And I mean, to be fair, there are way better artists that you can rip off than LMFAO for the fucking synths. And then we get the terribly, delicately, terribly produced party beat that's just constantly booming in the back. Bam, 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 bam. And we get the worst thing about the track is Corey Feldman's vocals, because of course he's using autotune, and I'm not saying using autotune is bad, because if you look at Daft Punk, oh hey, autotune works great with the right mix, the right instrumentals, the right style. But then we have this track where Corey Feldman's vocals are so bad that even a computer couldn't save him. You know, for autotune to work, your voice needs to be at in a constant tone, so that a computer can detect it and correct it on the right tone. Corey Feldman can't even do that, so it just ended up sounding like total trash, and he never thought to himself, yeah, it sounds pretty trash. Then we have the third track, and it's the title track, and it has this super annoying scratchy guitar intro, like someone wants to go to take a shit or something, and he has this super awkward conversation with these angels. So if you look at the album cover, you'd realize that it's a concept album kind of album, and you know, Corey Feldman is essentially the leader of a bunch of angels, and you know, it sounds absolutely creepy, but even more awkward than creepy. So the skit starts off with Corey Feldman asking, "Angels, did you sleep well?" And before all the angels had finished answering his question, he already answered himself, saying, "Wonderful." And the angels then said, "Wonderful." Which is, actually, come to think of it, doesn't make sense at all. Did you sleep well? Wonderful. What? They didn't say yes or no. The angels, they said wonderful. Totally makes sense. and oh man, the rest of the skit, so bad, so laughable. You know, so essentially Corey Feldman is trying to tell these angels to spread love and positivity and make the whole world dance. And then at the end he said, "And also, most important of all, don't forget to be sexy." And then we get to the song part, and it sounds like nothing except an angry Grinch paid $100 to sing a crappy dance pop song. And the lyrics, they are, you know what? I'm just gonna show you the lyrics here. The beats, the instrumentals, they are produced so poorly. They're mixed so bad. The lyrics are unintelligible. And even the biggest lyrics website in the world, Genius, can't figure out the lyrics because they're just so non-existent. The fourth track is called Forbidden Attraction. It's like a pun, Forbidden Attraction, but it's Forbidden Attraction, which doesn't make sense at all. And it starts off with, "Meanwhile, in Detective Jones' lab," and we get some slicky, poopy guitars. just okay. Yeah, we get some super disgusting, gross, slick guitars, which sound like a crappy video game soundtrack. Yeah, there's that. And then we get to the core part of the song, and it sounds gross. It sounds like Corey Feldman is singing the song right in front of our faces, spitting on us. His saliva sort of... I'm just gonna stop thinking about it. And also, what's with the hook on this track? Dun 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 dun. It's like Corey Feldman came up with this 3-note descending chord, not even chord progression, like 3-note descending motif, and he just forced it onto a song as if it's gonna sound really good. No, it's forced. It sounds like they don't fit together. And then we have the fifth track, which is just hilarious. It's called Crossed the Line Remix 1.6, not Remix 1.0, not Remix 2.0, not even Remix 1.5, but 1.6. That's the right number. The track is essentially a bunch of people singing "You crossed the line" and then repeated over and over and over and over again for 4.5 minutes. I'm serious. I'm serious. There's literally 4 words to all the lyrics on the song, "You crossed the line." And it sounds like Corey Feldman had heard this cool hook from a song from the 80s and he's like, wow, that's really, really good. So he just basically repeated this over and over and over again. And boy, if there's one thing that had crossed the line, it's Corey Feldman. He crossed the fucking line. And then we have the track Bad People, which exactly the same as the third track. We get some scratchy guitars in the beginning, like, oh my gosh, something crazy is happening. Oh. And then what immediately comes after is another really corny, crappy, terribly produced, and laughable instrumental. These guitars mixed, actually synced up with harmonicas. Yeah, genius idea. And the lyrics, they are just ingenious. On the second verse, Corey Feldman expressed his deep and profound views on morality. I hate jail when I had a pretty traffic light, but it turned out I mean, it's so bad. Like the production is so bad. like it like we can't even hear the lyrics properly. I hate jail. And the ending where Corey Feldman just goes, bad people, bad people, bad people, bad people, for like 1.5 minutes straight, like it's that necessary. And then we have the track Duh, and it just starts off with this absolutely obnoxious Batman intro, which is totally irrelevant from anything from the album at all. And it's another skit in the beginning where Corey Feldman has a conversation with his angels again. Corey Feldman asks one of his angels, so why exactly did they fire at you? And that angel replied, cause duh. And then the song starts. The song had already started before the angel could even answer the fucking question. And then in the beginning of the song, Corey Feldman had to do this like motivational speech, like, you can do it, like, and then what comes after is this messy, glitchy, bass boosted shit show. And one of the lines, Corey Feldman basically says, "An old woman is calling me sexy." And I doubt if he's telling the truth. I really doubt that. Alright, I'm back. I just went to school, dissected a rat, and came back. And then the next track is Everybody, and it's this song that has some really corny ass summery guitars, and again, as usual, some really fantastic vocal deliveries from Corey Feldman. I think there's also a guest feature on this track, and that feature is actually not that bad. Um, yeah, but still, just the instrumentals, Corey Feldman, the production just ruins it. And then we have the track Lickety Splickety, where Corey Feldman essentially attempts to make a shouty gangster rap song, and what would you expect from Corey Feldman? First of all, I mean, it's not really 100% rap song like Corey Feldman sings here, and I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Why? Why is he singing on this track? And him singing isn't even like doesn't even like fit the rap verses at all. And the background instrumentals, the not the background instrumentals, the background whatever, the background sounds, the background noise. They are ridiculous. Normally, if you listen to a gangster rap song, the background noises maybe gunshots and cars, engines, people shouting. And on this track, the background noises are basically Corey Feldman going, and it's an absolutely annoying song. And then we have the track Go For It featuring Snoop Dogg. Like, what are you doing here? Yeah, Go For It is the I'm feeling so hot. So Go For It is essentially the lead single to this album, and at first it has some epic pianos and synths leading up to it, and then when we get to the core part of the song, it sounds like there are 2 layers of dubstep underneath the melodies, completely overshadowing the melodies and the vocal melodies and the chorus. It's unbearably corny. Go for it, go for it. And the lyrics, they are spectacular as well. Well, mine's the tallest shoe, set to abolish you. You'll get beaten till they become bad news. So yeah, this again. And then at the last 20 seconds of the track, Snoop Dogg secretly shows up, but I wouldn't have known if I hadn't listened to the track very carefully, because Snoop Dogg's verse is buried underneath so many layers of instrumentals, and I guess that's the best way to get a feature on a Corey Feldman album. And disc 1 just ends off with Test 1, and Test 1 sounds like the left and the right channel playing 2 different songs. So, okay, I don't understand the logistics behind the song. It has this chill hip hop beat. At the same time, it has some doodly saxophones for some reason, and then you get some really watered down, really idiotic, dumb pianos just in the back, hanging for no reason, and I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Okay, anyway, let's move on to the second disc. Starting off with the track Seamless, which is spelled Seamless. Amazing. And it features Fred Durst. What? So yeah, Seamless is a feel-good, funky rock song, and like both Corey and Fred Durst sounded so offbeat on the track. And then we get these stupid guitar riffs, da-dang-dang, da-dang-dang, da-dang-dang. And then for some reason there are a bunch of horns in the song for no reason. And then we have the second track, Wanna Break Free, and at first it does sound like it's gonna be one of the rarely better tracks on the album, with some up and down, smooth, warm piano keys and some jazzy instrumentals. High chances are Corey Feldman didn't come up with this. And you know, at the first 20 seconds or so, it was okay. It was okay. Like, it was listenable until Corey Feldman hops onto the track and demolishes everything. And then at the last leg of the track, all of a sudden the track just goes 180-degree turn, and it becomes this rock song, like this I wanna break free! I wanna break free! And then we have the track Negative, which has some stupid, like, cyberpunk keys and some new metal riffs in the beginning, for no good reason. And then Corey Feldman decided to whisper on the track, and with his growly vocal, so it's some growly whispers, and it's absolutely disgusting. And then we get these, like, out of the blue, out of nowhere, we get these string passages, and it's what is that? What is that? The track You Got Me is essentially this fun power pop punk rock rager with some guitars and vocals literally synced up, playing the same note at the same time, and it sounds absolutely corny. Then we have the track Baby Blue, and the background noise for this track is literally a baby crying, and it's chopped up and looped. And then also on the same track, Corey Feldman had decided to refer himself as Daddy, which is if anything, gross. And and you know, Corey Feldman on the track kind of talks about how his life is filled with misery, and it's just, I just can't take the man seriously anymore. Then we have the track For My Love, and it starts off with Corey Feldman saying, there are some feelings that can't just be expressed with words. So, I wrote this song for you. Does he even know what he's saying? Does he even know what he's doing? So yeah, and this song is similar to Baby Blue. It's this boring, corny love song with a little rock edge to it, and it's 10 times more boring. And what the hell did I write? And my favorite lyric on the track is bring the stars up to the moon. Does he know that the moon is closer to the earth than the stars? So shouldn't it be bring the moon up to the stars instead of bringing the stars up to the moon? And then up next we have the track We Wanna Change, and this takes the cake, because this might potentially be the worst track on the entire album. Basically, Corey Feldman had decided to place this old school jazz track on the track list, and he does this Louis Armstrong impression whilst trying to sound like Michael Jackson at the same time. And it just it's do 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 blah 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 do do do. You know, at first I thought this track was a joke. Like, I thought it's gonna like have a beat switch and we're gonna go to the real part of the song. Nope, that's the whole song. Okay, crap. Next track is titled Take a Stand, and it's supposed to be this motivational guitar jam, you know. And of course it has to turn funky, cause it's you know, Angelic Funkadelic, so it's got to be funky. And Corey Feldman, again, I can't take the guy seriously. I'm feeling quite serene. Then we have the track Remember 222, Corey song, and it's sort of like a tribute to Corey Haim, who had worked with Corey Feldman before, and I know Corey has some good intentions on the track, but geez, this track is garbage. In the beginning we get some epic synths, then once again it just dissolves into this stupid funk rock mess, and it sounds like they can't decide on a guitar chord, so they're scrambling all over the place until they can find one at the second half of the song. And the song is 4 minutes and 20 seconds long. Just a fun fact. And then we have the next track, the penultimate track, Mercy. And this is the only track that sounds like it's influenced from some sort of artist in our generation right now. In fact, it's made very obvious that Corey Feldman probably ripped this off from The Weeknd, because this song sounds extremely like a Weeknd song. I was thinking about my niece. Like, not about his knees. It's about his niece. Like he's somebody's uncle now. He's thinking about his niece. For no good reason. And then at the end the song just speeds up. And I don't know. And then at the very end of the album we have the track Working Class Hero. And it's the most unnecessary album ending ever. It's 6 minutes and 11 seconds long, and it's this epic guitar ballad, and it ends off with this weird David Lynchian ending, and it's not like intentionally, like accidentally Lynchian. It just sounds so weird, like the voice actor for God in the beginning of the album showed up at the end, but he's not playing God anymore, and he sounds like he's drunk. And then there were these random weird sound effects. Like, I don't know, I don't think it's intentional to be this weird. But yeah, so here you go. This is a slice of bad music for you. Honestly, I am floored. I am just impressed at how bad this album is. On Kid Cudi's Speed and Bullet to Heaven, even though Kid Cudi had completely lost his mind, at least there are a couple of okay guitar riffs. But on this album, I just can't find a single redeeming quality about this album. I am floored. I am impressed. And I don't think there will be any albums in this decade that can be worse than this. Like, it has to be very difficult to be worse than this. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it here. If I talk any longer, my brain will explode, and I am proud to give Corey Feldman's Angelic to the Core a 0 out of 10. A 0, a definite 0. Not even a light 1 to a 0. It's a 0. It's a 0. So, have you listened to this album from 1 to 10? How much did you rate it? Subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.